welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Well, hello, broad.
Well, hello.
Hello.
What is that from?
I don't know why does that happen so naturally? Wait.
Well,
it's
hello.
Well, hello, Mrs.
Is that Mrs. Doubtfire?
I feel like there's a show or a movie that is talking. They're imitating Mrs. Doubtfire, and that's what my brain is saying.
Yeah.
Well, hello. Well, hello, broads.
Hello, broads. It's so weird. I'm talking without the headphones on because I have lice, or I had lice, or I hope I had them. I hope it's past tense, but I'm sure there's probably one still hanging out.
I'm so sorry. It is a huge.
Yeah.
I have never gotten lice. It is a fear of mine. And
I've gotten it all, sweetie. I've gotten bed bugs. I've gotten lice. I've gotten scabies.
You have gotten bed bugs. We were just
bed bugs is the worst.
That one definitely feels very obtrusive to me to know that I am laying amidst the bugs.
Honey, not to mention they can survive for like up to 6 months without a human host.
Okay, first of all, don't call yourself a host.
I know, that's disgusting,
so
right?
Scary.
This is so gross.
The human host, the flesh.
Feed upon me. So bedbugs are really fucking hard to get rid of. And basically the only thing that kills them is like crazy chemicals or heats above 120 degrees. So sometimes they'll literally tent off your house and just crank up the heat.
Just
and you
make
take
it
the pets
so
and plants
hot.
out.
That's really wild. Bugs give me the creeps because they are so alienish to know that they feast upon flesh.
When they're so tiny, you don't figure out that they're there until it's really a problem.
Yes.
It is so disconcerting to know that they've been there for a while.
Yeah, then
They've been there a while.
You know,
Oh,
it's
I have
how many
chills.
spiders that you swallow in your lifetime. When you're laying in bed and you wake up and you have like bug bites on you, that you're like, oh, I was laying with buggies that were sucking my blood.
So itchy just thinking.
I'm
about
so
that.
sorry. You know, the bugs give me the creeps, but we were talking before we hopped on the podcast that I feel like Ember would be really excited to get lice.
Oh my god.
And my daughter Ember is obsessed with just collecting bugs and holding bugs. And if she found out she was a host, she would love it.
Now, the lice, it's honestly not that big of a deal because you do like one big treatment and get everything out and it's gross and all that.
Does it hurt, a treatment? Does it burn?
No, you just use it. Well, the biggest part of the treatment is you got to comb through every inch of your hair with a knit comb to make sure you get out all the eggs. I feel like this is a triggering conversation. Like I am getting goosebumps all over and getting anxiety.
I don't love it, but I am. But I've never experienced, so I am interested.
Basically, like you have to comb through and get out all the eggs because the eggs won't die with like a chemical treatment.
Okay.
Usually, it just kills the live ones. So you have to alternate between doing that because you have to kill the live ones, but then maybe you might miss some eggs, and so they might hatch, and then you have to kill those. So you want to be doing treatments and checking. Every day for a couple weeks, but then it's kind of over.
Once
if
you have
do
the
it,
big
if you're
treatment.
thorough over a week or two, but like something like bed bugs, if you don't get that shit under control, it will. It's so bad. It's so bad. God. It's so bad. Scabies is horrible too. That was like one of the worst things.
Have you ever had a tick?
No, that's the one thing I haven't had.
Okay, I haven't had a tick either. I really haven't gotten any. I mean,
Parasitic
other than,
things?
I collect bug bites like the best of them. Whatever is in my blood or whatever I ingest, you take me anywhere and I'm covered head to toe when everyone else is like completely fine. But never anything that's like invaded the home. Even though we did have that weird fly situation recently. Remember that?
Ew.
I had like a weird like infestation. There was like a weird type of fly that looks like a house fly. But there was like a ton in my house, and I thought it was the pit of hell. By the way, this was happening while like all the fires were raging in Los Angeles. No, I was like, oh, this is the new locust. It's the flies that are coming, and they're all in my house. And these types of flies, they move very slowly, which is then creepy, and they all like go in one area. And I'd kill 100 flies. And then I'd go to the bathroom and come back and there'd be like 50 more in the same area.
Oh my God, stop.
I'm not joking.
That's gross.
It was horrible, but it lasted for about 48 hours. And I wept.
Weird. And then they just left?
I don't know like what I did to get rid of them. I was calling like
calling upon the name of the Lord.
I was calling upon the name of the Lord. I was blasting worship music, and I was just like, be gone out of this house. In the name of Jesus, flee this place. Oh, God. And flies I don't handle well.
No, flies are gross.
Uh-uh.
What about termites?
I guess I've had termites at like when I lived with my parents.
I had termites come out of a table the other day in my
Yeah, you said that. That's so creepy.
It's so gross.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of termites. Yeah, just the bugs in general. Love me a caterpillar.
Yeah, how cute. Ladybugs?
Love a ladybug.
Butterflies?
I mean, all the cute ones.
Dragonflies?
Love a dragonfly. Love a roly-poly.
I don't even mind worms.
No, worms are fine.
Fun.
Worms
I
are
like
really
roly-polies
fun.
too. I used to like let them crawl in my hands.
Oh,
I guess they
yeah.
could be gross, but
We have the love bugs all around here, those weird little beetles that Ember collects.
Are
They're
those the pretty
everywhere.
green ones?
No, those are Japanese beetles. The
I
big green
love
ones are
those.
incredible.
Scary when they like fly at your face.
Yeah, I don't think that they can see.
They're just blind flying
That's
around.
that's like a rumor that I remember hearing as a child, that they're like, they can't see. That's why they bump into everything.
Oh, well, they probably have their freaking yeah, I mean, bugs don't have eyes.
I think a lot of bugs have eyes. It's the important conversations in life, people.
No, like flies, for instance, they have like kaleidoscope eyes, so they can't really see where they're fucking going. It's their antennas. That's what antennas are for.
True. But also they do have those. I mean, they do have the kaleidoscope eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That seems confusing.
They just have,
I don't feel like it's very helpful.
This was my whole point of why I find bugs to be creepy, because I feel like they are the closest thing to aliens on this planet.
Totally.
Because like they
Look
have
at
their,
them. I mean, they're crazy.
But they have their
looking.
kaleidoscope eyes. They also then have their antennas, so they have way more senses than we do.
The way flies crawl around, they're like...
Yeah, that they like stick, that they can be upside, that they can fly,
crazy.
that they can like lose, like regrow certain parts.
Yeah, like why aren't there big... I guess because of gravity and whatnot, but like why aren't there big creatures like that?
like huge ass bugs?
Like giant spiders.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, I mean, I don't know a lot about like in the ancient of days, like millions and millions.
But why would they
and millions
die
of
out?
years ago.
You think they'd be the most powerful
True.
creatures?
Maybe they really are the aliens, and aliens are what's running the simulation, and so they have their little friends who are like really controlling the earth.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole birds aren't real thing. I feel like bugs aren't real makes way more sense.
Yeah, there are so many of them.
Yeah.
Have you ever stepped in an anthill? Horrifying. Also horrifying because what a beautiful system underground.
Totally, but disgusting and creepy at the same time. But
Especially
yes,
if it's
I
fire
agree.
ants.
That'll like attack babies and stuff.
So we've been talking about bugs, I think, for about 15 minutes.
Okay, so
We
can
love
move
a
on.
15-minute bug rant. No, this is what you come here for. Chatty Broads, what? Bugs.
Well, the funny thing is that we've been tossing around the idea of doing like these 10-minute segments where we talk about a topic.
Yes. And maybe this is one like that. We kind of just did.
Wouldn't you
that.
guys love to hear us talk? I mean, I'm sure someone out there enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm sure, what is it, etymologist? Mm-hmm. All our etymologist broads are like, they're incorrect. They're spouting incorrect fact.
They don't know fucking shit about bugs.
They don't know.
Keep bugs' names out of your mouth.
But for real, I don't know a lot about bugs.
Anyway, so today though.
But today I'm excited because, you and I, it has been many, many, many moons since we had like a proper Ask Me Anything broad episode.
Bless.
We went through a phase where we were doing a lot of questions, and it's been a while. And I feel like, the year is wrapping up. And do you really know us?
Tragic. So sad this year is over.
Ugh. Can't wait for 2021.
I was like, I laid in
Everyone's
bed
saying
last
that.
night and
Ugh.
thought I was being all clever. I was like, but 2020, you say you see things 2020. 2020 did give us clarity, a vision of like who we all are as a society and as people. And I was like, wow, that's so smart. And now I'm saying it, it's so stupid.
A prophetess, really.
I was like, that's so deep.
I just am scared anytime someone goes, oh, I can't wait for this year to be over.
Oh yeah, don't say
and
that. Don't
I'm
say
like,
that.
No, don't put that bad energy out there, because
then-
that's what we fucking said about
And then
2019.
Jessica Lanyadu flashes through my head and she's like, this is only the beginning.
Chatty Broads, we're coming at you live. It's 2025. It's still not any better.
But The Bachelor, huh? We're twitching.
The whole earth is scorched, but Chris Harrison remains. And that's how it's going to be.
We're just like, we have like little cardboard mics. We're not even broadcasting to anyone. We're like, so on this week's episode.
They're still having The Bachelor though, but everyone has like gas masks on and hazmat suits, and like gravity has
It's like
left the
Wall-E.
earth. Yeah. That's what The Bachelor
Just
is.
cockroaches.
Everyone's gone, and there's a bachelor just trying to find someone to date, just wandering the earth.
Will he find love? No, will he find another human? Oh, my, that's like Bachelor 2030.
And Chris Harrison will be obviously
in outer space.
He'll be on Mars because all the wealthy, via Elon
Yes.
Musk, are now going to be living on a colony
Yes.
on Mars, and they'll be broadcasting from there and be like, oh, those Earthlings. Those poor Earthlings. Bachelor's just wandering around heaps of garbage.
sorting through stuff.
This feels too real.
I know.
It feels a little too real for me.
So we need to move on from this
Okay,
conversation.
so we are gonna do an Ask Us Anything. We're gonna try to cover a lot of topics that we haven't chatted about before. But before we hop into all of these questions, which God, there's some really good ones. I'm extremely excited. Let's have a conversation. Okay. If you are currently or have ever considered therapy, I don't need to tell you that the obstacles can be plentiful. The struggle to match with the right therapist, the time it takes to actually have the appointments, not to mention the expense. Unfortunately, something we all could use is often out of reach due to cost. And that's why I love our friends at TALKSPACE. They're working hard to make prioritizing your mental health accessible to all.
We're talking a fraction of the cost of traditional therapy, people. You're going to start off by signing up online or downloading the TalkSpace app, and you'll be able to start therapy that very same day with your new licensed therapist. And depending on the plan you choose, you'll be able to message and schedule.
Bless you.
You'll be able to schedule live video sessions with your therapist. So no matter how perfect someone's life may seem or how together you may think that they have it, no one's perfect. I'm a firm believer that everyone, including Jess and I, can and have benefited from therapy. And it's nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed about at all. I think it's something that everyone needs. And sometimes it's just nice to talk, and that alone can be unbelievably helpful.
Oh, you know me. I will shout from the rooftops that my therapist is so important to me. I can't recommend therapy enough to anyone who will listen. Something that is really special about TalkSpace is the amount of therapists that they have available and how many specialties they cover. So if you want to talk about anxiety, if you're wanting to discuss depression, trauma, disordered eating, substance abuse, you have so many different therapists who specialize in those areas to talk to. You don't need to go through it alone.
Yeah, and talking to my friends is really different from talking to a licensed therapist who actually has the expertise and knowledge to give me practical guidance. Plus, it's like a third party who's not involved in your life, and that's nice. TalkSpace gives us the support we need at an affordable price, and as a listener of Chatty Broads, you're going to get $100 off your first month with TalkSpace. To match with a licensed therapist today, you can go to TalkSpace.com or download the app, and make sure to use code CHATTY to get $100 off your first month, and you can show your support for the show. That's code CHATTY at TalkSpace.com.
So if you listen to the show regularly, which we hope you do, then you've definitely heard us talk about Hellofresh because I am obsessed. And now that the weather is getting chilly, look at me with my blanket right now and you with your sweater.
I know, freezing to death.
Oh, so cold. The mics are literally frozen over. But the holidays are upon us. The chill weather is upon us. It's the perfect time to try out Hellofresh if you haven't, because to me, nothing says holidays like a warm, freshly cooked meal.
And by the way, when we're talking about cold weather, we're talking about like 62 degrees.
Absolutely freezing.
Break out the skis, people. But what you're saying is really true because, for Gray and I, date night has looked a little different lately.
Sure.
Of course, because of restrictions, but also because being a new mom to two means your Friday nights look a little different than you had planned. But we've been able to have a lot of mini at-home date nights thanks to HelloFresh, and we can pop open a little bottle of wine, start in on a new recipe we haven't tried yet, and it's been a super fun way for us to spend quality time together. Also, I like saving the little recipes, and you can make them on your own if you want to later on too.
I've actually learned how to make things because of it that I never would have known otherwise. If you haven't had a chance to try HelloFresh yet, consider this a sign. HelloFresh makes it so easy to eat delicious and nutritious meals without all the stress. They deliver fresh, high quality, pre-portioned ingredients right to your door. The hard part is done for you so you can enjoy the cooking and of course the eating. And their plans are really easily modified. side. So if you need to pause delivery or change delivery dates, it's done in seconds, not complicated. HelloFresh thinks of everything to make cooking amazing meals as simple as possible.
Go to hellofresh.com/80chatty and use code 80chatty, and you're going to get $80 off, including free shipping. Again, for $80 off, including free shipping, go to hellofresh.com/80chatty and use code 80chatty.
All right, well, I'm going to start us off with a Bachelor question right off the cuff because I am curious. Okay?
Oh my God, okay.
Okay, someone sent in, who from Bachelor Nation is most compatible for Evan and Gray? So
Wow,
who do you,
what a good
isn't
question.
that a great question? And I'm just like, first of all, so many options.
Me, I'm the best. I'm the best Bachelor Nation option for Greg. I mean,
very
that is true.
cute. What if I said you for Evan? Would you feel uncomfy with that?
I just think it wasn't true.
Well, you never know.
Yeah,
Let's ask Evan. Bring him in.
Evan and I are just too similar. We get so annoyed at each other so fast.
You guys have a lot in common.
Yeah, where it's just like, okay, like this, I could just see being like, this needs to, we're going to go live in separate cities now.
One of the questions that's on here is what annoys you and I the most about each other. And for me, with you, it's the thing that makes me crazy with Evan too. I'll tell you, we'll get into that one.
Great.
But because you guys, it's a similarity.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and for new listeners, Jess and Gray are both Libras, and Evan and I are both Aquariuses.
So
it's
funny.
crazy. Air signs, yes.
This is wind, by the way. For the YouTube.
Sound effects. And did you guys know we have sound effects on the podcast now? I do wish sometimes that we had like audio clips. Like if we had someone smart here who knew how to do that.
Yes. Well, if
fun.
Evan would just actually sit in, which I tell him that he's like, I can sit in and like add in stuff for you. But sometimes I'm like, but I want to talk about your balls.
I know.
And I don't want to get those eyes at me.
It would be hilarious though having him laugh at us in the background.
Maybe we should try it out a couple times.
Yeah, we
see
can
how
do
it
that.
goes. Now that he's been home for the past 9 months.
Okay, so most compatible, not me for Evan, and if not me for Gray, then let's think about this.
I think,
okay, we got to limit it to like the past maybe like few seasons.
or like big names, maybe.
Sure.
Like big Bachelor
We don't want to
Nation
make it like
folk.
super obscure.
Yeah, it's so tough.
Okay,
It's so
I'm
tough.
thinking through my season.
I'm looking on Instagram right now because I'm like, I'm gonna, your girl's gonna blank out if I don't see. Through your season, I'm thinking, Peter's season. I really can't.
Oh God.
Oh, I know who Evan would want to be with. I know exactly. I know immediately.
Who?
And I actually think that it would make sense to me.
Who?
So Elise from Colton's season, the redhead.
Oh.
Evan had heart
That would be hot.
eyes. Evan had heart eyes. As soon as he started watching Colton's season, he was like, and then it would be funny because he tried to act. He was like, well, she's just, she's very beautiful. Very beautiful woman.
It's like what my dad says. My dad is like, oh, she's very, very attractive woman.
I'm like, Evan, yeah. And now her and I actually have like an Insta friendship and then we'll chat back and forth. And the more I get to know her, I'm like, oh, if I wasn't in the picture and Evan got to meet her, he would be like, ooh, my goodness. She's one of the few people that I could imagine if he was single and she was the bachelorette that he would be maybe like, yeah, go on.
Gray just is like, oh, Hannah Brown looks really good in those leather shorts. that's like the shit that Gray says,
Evan will say that when he's not actually in love with someone.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I wonder who Gray would even like, because all I hear about is he's like, oh, she's hot.
Yeah.
Maddie Pruitt has an ass. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. He was into Maddie, huh?
Yeah. Looks wise.
I
mean, she's not. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't work personality wise.
I really don't know who Gray would. I feel like someone from Nick's season, probably. I feel.
Do you feel like he would probably really like Rachel?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe, actually. I feel like who that girl who ended up with the one who's I can't think of her name. I follow her. She's in Canada with the boyfriend from Paradise, and they were always perfect.
Astrid.
Astrid.
Oh yeah.
I could see him liking Astrid.
Yeah.
He also thinks that Jade's really beautiful too. But
Oh,
even though he looks like Jade, someone said that Grayson looks like Jade and Tanner's, like he could be their child. And it's totally true.
please, someone Photoshop this and
So,
have Gray as their new baby.
He looks a lot like both of them.
He does.
Like the
That's
freckles
actually,
in the face.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, that would make sense to me. Now that you're saying Astrid too, I'm thinking, oh yeah, Evan also was very much in love with Nick's Vanessa.
He also might like Kaylin.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that because it's like working with Dean and her.
Mm-hmm.
They have similar like interests. So
I mean, now who would have thought? We like clown so hard on the idea
yeah,
that,
but at the end we're like they're probably gonna last.
and now
time.
look at them. I mean, truly, the content that's being put out by the two of them is just 10 out of 10.
So I don't know. Astrid and Kaylin were kind of the two that came to mind, but who knows? I can't ever really tell with him.
Yeah, I could
But
see
anyway.
those ones for sure.
So
Then I would say at least for Evan or maybe Vanessa. He was very much into Vanessa too.
Speaking of which, the guys, I know we mentioned it on this past episode, but when the guy's responses when JoJo walks in the room,
I mean,
none of them can even hide it. Zach is like trying to look at the wall so that he's not making eye contact.
no,
with her.
Zach is so intentional about like, and then at one point when she walks out and he was just like, thanks so much. It's a pleasure to see you.
I know.
Absolute pleasure. And Noah every single time. It's so obvious. He's just like,
Big old puppy grin.
he might as well just run into her arms.
I know.
Brendan looks very excited too.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of the guys are
I mean,
very
my face would look the
obviously-
exact same way. She would walk in and I'd be like,
Do you think that Evan would ever ironically date Corinne?
yes, 100%.
Yeah.
You know he would for sure ironically
Yes.
date Corinne. Because obviously when Corinne was on Nick's season, he was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Now he had the hard eyes during Nick's season for Rachel and Vanessa. But Corinne, he couldn't get over. It's just like, who is this person? And then of course he would one time like a spiral obsession with just when, she was his queen, but he actually was in love with two others. But for sure, ironic dating. I feel like if Evan and I ever broke up, that he would only date ironically.
Yeah.
He would never fall in love again.
He would be lost forever without me.
Absolutely miserable. So it could only be ironic dating.
Oh my God. I mean, Gray would actually probably like Becca. from my
Probably.
season too. Well, I don't know though. So his mom, when someone said that he was dating Becca from The Bachelor, she thought it was Becca K. And she was like, I don't see her personality.
No, now that I'm thinking
Nah.
about it, like I'm sure he thinks she's beautiful, but like personality wise, you both are very different.
That's true.
And I couldn't see him with someone vastly different from you personality wise, to be honest.
He likes, gorgeous, fun.
He loves stunning,
quirky,
intelligent,
humble,
thoughtful,
interesting,
dynamic.
So if there's anyone else in Bachelor Nation like that, probably them.
I'm drawing a blank. That's it. The question dies here.
Anyway,
Anyways, should we do one more Bachelor question
Yes.
before diving into? Okay, there's a couple great ones, but
Wait.
this is fun.
yeah.
Which Bachelor Nation couple would you have a threesome with?
Ooh.
Consensually. Ooh,
Okay,
Bachelor
this
Nation
is like-
couple.
It's weird because then there's like the people that you probably would be most likely to actually have a threesome with if you guys were all out together,
Oh yes,
So it's kind of weird. Like,
yes, like who would you?
like logistically, what would probably actually? I don't want to answer this question. This is weird.
Really? Do you want to skip it?
Okay, you answer.
Well, I feel like I know what your answer would be, but I
Whisper it to me. Yeah, probably.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's like probably the most. Those are
Those are
realistically.
the most realistic
yes.
one. Yeah.
And that's weird.
Yeah, maybe it's too close
I'm
to
not gonna say that. That's weird.
well, for me, I I have it. I'm like, so no, I actually don't know. Bachelor Nation couple that's still together. If they're broken up, then definitely
Lauren and
Chris and
Ari.
Crystal. Same. All of them.
Chris and Crystal and Lauren and Ari all together.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fever dream.
I feel like I actually had that dream last week. It's all coming back to me now. Who I would actually want to.
Oh my God! From the goat episodes, the couple that were like always, he was really hot. Them. That's who I want to have a threesome with.
The original Trista and Ryan?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to have a threesome with Trista and Ryan.
Oh my God, 100%. There's so much love there.
Yeah. I want to be a part of that.
You're like, I want to feel that love and that energy.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? There's no correct answer except Trista and Ryan.
And I do it like back then, now.
Anytime. Oh, I know who I want.
Who?
Chris and Lauren Zima.
I hate you. I fucking hate you for that.
No,
But,
Chris and
so
Andy.
you could report on, like, you could do a tell all about what it's like having sex with them.
Yeah, because I feel like what would happen was they'd probably both fall in love with me, and then it would be like this very like harrowing journey of like trying to not break their hearts.
That's so awkward.
You know what I mean?
Happens.
It's so hard when people fall in love with you, and so then it would be a lengthy journey for me, and I feel like I could get a really good tell-all, a long book out of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and at least some good podcast episodes. Okay, Jess took a pee break, but she came running back in and said, "I know who I want."
Yeah,
for the
I
threesome."
had to use the restroom really quickly, and it dawned on me as I was on the toilet. Perfect Bachelor Nation threesome. Don't at me. There's no other one that's better, even beyond Tristan and Ryan. Barb and Peter.
Again,
Senior
I hate
Weber.
you so much. That's so disgusting.
There is so much love, and I can guarantee you, I know for a fact that is the wildest bedroom in all of Bachelor Nation. You know that is the wildest bedroom. Sweet Nums?
I don't want to witness it.
Sweet Nums?
What is wrong with you?
I just imagine a lot of whipped cream. Too much whipped cream.
At least you know she'd probably be enthusiastic about you being there.
Oh my God, she would do anything for her mans. Honestly, now that would be the love. That would be the falling in love, where it would be like, listen, we would forget about him, but Sweet Nums and I, what would happen is that then I would be her secret lover, and she would have to hide it from Peter and Jack and now Kelly, and that would be tough because she would want me to be at all their family gatherings. I'd probably have to go incognito as Jack's new girlfriend. God, this is gonna get really hard. It's gonna get really complicated for us.
You know what? Real shit though. If Tasha and Brendan ended up together,
Oh,
I'm
now
in. Like, I'm seriously in.
that is,
Like, that's a legit one.
if Brendan and Tasha end up together, no other Bachelor couple will be able to compete in
Sexiness.
and beauty.
And just like coolness.
So like low key and cool. Ugh.
I'm so game for that. Have you ever actually been close to having a threesome with anyone? Or you have?
No, I've never.
Okay.
You were so excited. Yes, definitely. Actually, not a threesome, a foursome.
Oh.
Very
Like
close.
two couples?
Yes. It's happened. Evan and I get propositioned a lot.
I'm not talking about the weird people at the Palm Springs resorts.
Yeah, we get propositioned a lot.
Because you guys look like that fun swinging kind of couple.
Yeah, apparently it's always an option, and it's always, typically not people of our choosing that we're really game for. But there was one time where it was like, it definitely felt like it was almost there. I don't know how I'd.
Was it you and Evan when you guys were married?
Yeah. But
Too complicated.
Too complicated.
Because were they not strangers?
They weren't strangers.
Yeah, that's where shit gets a little
I'm not
messy.
going to mess with that. I'm not going to mess with that. You know what I mean?
You need to have like some serious prior conversations before diving into something
yeah,
like
and
that,
that's not something. No. But no, not a threesome. Even though I'm definitely not opposed to it.
Yeah, never had a threesome.
That surprises me about you. I would have thought that you would have.
I told you before. It was with like a lot of people.
No, I know.
But the threesome thing, see, my mom always said with friendships, she's like, you never want to have 3 best girlfriends. It never works out well. That's what my mom would always say. And she said that when I was little, and I still think it's true. Someone's always going to feel weirdly left out.
Yeah.
And for me, I have the same mindset about threesomes. I'm not judging anyone else's, but for me, the dynamics are always I feel like maybe I would be projecting this onto it, but there would always be something weird where someone's a little left out or
I
something.
have a feeling that you wouldn't be the one who would be left out.
Absolutely.
You'd be the star of the show.
But then I would feel weird because then I wouldn't want someone else to feel left out. Also, I think for me personally, the dynamic is weird of having someone like a random with us and our relationship. For some reason that's just not hot to me. I don't really know. I don't really know why.
I'm like super, super down as far as a threesome would go, but only if the third party was professional.
Oh, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I would second that.
Yeah.
I would second that as well.
But other than that, it feels like it would get complicated. And like your mom said with the 3 best friend thing, I in high school was part of a 3 best
triad.
friend, and I was the one who was always left out, and it sucks. Yeah.
That really sucks. Definitely the foursome I'd be more down for. But also I would be totally down for a threesome with another guy.
Sure.
I have you don't even think twice. Don't care if he feels left out. Don't give a shit. If it's with a woman, I want to make sure that she feels. I don't want to feel. Just be my friend. You don't have to have sex with us. Another guy, yes, down, totally down. Grayson, not as down. So
yeah, I'm not sure. It would just have to be professional in both circumstances for me, I think.
maybe like in another country, like that'd be kind of fun. Like if you were like, you guys are like on vacation in Amsterdam and you're like, ooh, let's hire someone to come spice up our night.
That sounds fun.
Does sound fun. Okay, so some questions I'm looking at right now. Oh, this is a great one, kind of with what we were talking about.
Okay.
If you switched partners, what would annoy you and what would you love about them?
Oh.
If you and I switched partners.
So if you were with Evan, I was with Gray. Okay. What would annoy me and
you
what would
and
I
Gray
love?
would never be together in real life.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like never.
No, not
like
a chance.
Evan and I, that could maybe happen.
If anyone, if we're both splitting up and anyone's getting together, it would be definitely more likely you and Evan. You guys would fight like crazy.
It would be definitely short. 3 months is long. It would be shorter than 3 months.
It would be shorter, but there's just no way that Gray and I. Now, like best buds for sure. Like be like, yep, we're on the phone. We're catching up. We're doing that.
I see zero sexual or romantic energy between the two of you.
No,
none.
No, we don't have that at all.
No.
What
would be your guys' strength?
My favorite thing between Gray and I is our sexual energy.
For other people.
For others. Oh no, but the question though is
what would annoy you and what would you love about them?
Okay. Well, first of all, what I love, Gray makes me laugh really hard. And I like that Gray, I think my favorite thing about Gray is that he's able to be like, have very like low key, calm energy while also not caring. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of times people who like are like just super like low key.
Like he's not apathetic.
Right. Like they don't care.
Yes.
And then I'm just like, why isn't this bothering you? But he cares. And he's like hardworking and doing that shit, but he also has very calm energy the whole time. I think that's one of my most favorite things about him. What would annoy me the most? Trying to think. Probably. Oh, I know exactly. And I think it's something that annoys you too.
What?
When we're conversationally and when we're having like a friend hang conversation and then he'll start like a new story and I'll be like, hold on a second. We were going in this direction and everyone was on that page and then you just fully shifted.
It's gotten so much better than when we started dating.
And then I'll just watch Becca just be like,
my eyes just glaze over and I feel dead inside. And I'm like, stop.
I see, for me, it would annoy me the most because I have a hard time as I'm getting old. This sounds so old, but truly
Tracking
where all of a sudden I'm forgetting way more. So then, frightening. But like, I'll then fully forget what my whole point was with something I'm like, oh, I wanted to finish that because I had that thought, and now I'm fully forgetting.
Did you ever watch that movie about the woman who got like early Alzheimer's dementia?
What are you saying about me?
Isn't that horrible? I hope that doesn't happen to you. Oh man,
I'm worried about Evan though, because Evan has like, I think he has like CTE. Because Evan, like brain trauma. So he was in a lot of like high impact sports, and he's had really gnarly concussions, like 6-7 times, like full blackout for like minutes.
Oh no!
And now all of a sudden, the past 6 months, the level of like forgetfulness is pretty insane.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden he'll fully forget something and like zone out, and I'll be looking at him and he just like will then realize what he did, and he's like, I think it's the CTE. I'm like, stop it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because he was in like a lot of high impact. Yeah, that's why I'm very much like,
guys, smash that like button. 1 prayer for Evan. 1 like equals 1 prayer.
please.
1 sub equals 1 prayer.
See, that's why you don't put your kids in football, okay?
For real.
Or hockey.
In other countries, they do rugby. They're just smashing into each other with no helmets. What on earth?
He would always skateboard without a helmet. He'd fall, and then he was in a football, like, then hockey. It's just...
We're going skiing this year, and I, as a teenager, was always like, I'm too cool to wear helmets when I snowboard.
No.
And my mom would make me wear it, and I'd all take it off because I wanted to be cool. Yeah, of course, this year I'm like, I'm wearing my goddamn helmet.
No, full body suit.
Jeez.
Don't hurt yourself.
What do you think you and Gray would accomplish, like, if you guys were together?
I think Gray and I would be really like beneficial as a team if we'd be dealing with like a nonprofit, perhaps.
I thought the same shit.
Really?
And my first thought, and then I was like, no, that's dumb. My same thought was like, you guys could start a nonprofit. Totally.
Yeah, I feel like we have like strengths that are similar when it comes to like organizing and like caring about similar things.
We're
both organized, but we're also I think we're able to tap into like people's like needs.
But this is you guys. You guys would have a nonprofit, and you would also be funneling money from that nonprofit to have your beach house, like in fucking Malibu.
It would be
and a ski chalet.
Listen, this is the thing I think that Gray and I both have in common, and this is this Libra energy, right? We care a lot about people, but we're also bougie as fuck, right? But also, but Gray is like, doesn't appear bougie, but then he is bougie. I, on the other hand,
he'd have his surfboard collection, because that's all he wants. He'd have his surfboard collection. You guys would have a very nice house by the beach. You know, I could just see, it's like you guys would have a sexless marriage, but you'd be sitting there like just dressed to the nines. Like, how's the nonprofit going, sweetie? And he'd be like, great, like, talk to you tomorrow.
We would have a polyamorous situation, or an open marriage in some way. We would never touch each other, but we would also probably never fight, because our interests day to day are so different that he'd be like, I'm going to go surf for however long. And I'd be like, great, I'm going to go get 17 massages in a row. Bye.
Yeah. And I feel like you guys would actually communicate pretty well too. Yeah. And you could be like, look, and he could be like, look, and then that would just be it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we don't we argue in a similar way.
Now, Evan and I, on the other hand, would probably have like 7 podcasts between the two of us.
You guys would start 30,000 businesses together.
All of them kind of shaky. But on shaky stilts.
But somehow successful.
I like that.
Like, this is what would happen. Gray and I would put our heart and soul into one business, and it would fail. You and Evan,
I don't think
30,000 shaky ones, and somehow they'd all be successful. And you'd be like,
we each were running 15 different Instagram accounts on our phone at the same time, you know? We were switching between different accounts.
Your Aquarian selves would be like having a different passion every month, but you guys would understand that about each other, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we would literally have like 30 different podcasts straight up, and it would just be... So back to the question, what would annoy you? What do you love about them? The thing I already know that annoys me about Evan isn't Evan, it's our dynamic, because we always want to be the smartest person in the room. So it's like, oh, I think it's like this. No, I mean, like, and you're trying to act like you're cool about it. This actually happens to us all the time.
You guys,
like, it happens.
You guys posture up with each other all the time.
It's like, Evan's like a foot and a half taller, but I find myself kind of being like, squaring my shoulders up. It's like, we're kind of like, well, I thought it was actually like this. Well, yeah, but it's like this. Yeah, but are you sure? Because I think and we just like have to be the one who knows the most about everything, which would just be so goddamn infuriating on a daily basis.
Oh, you mean just trying to like one up each other?
Just
constantly?
even trying to have breakfast. It would be like, well, I'm using this. Well, did you know that hemp protein? Yeah, but actually the whole thing about soy protein being bad for you is not true. Like this would be our life. It would be an argument about everything.
Every single thing. But never
super passive aggressive.
Yes. I was going to say never elevated.
Oh, how horrible.
Never elevated. Like I would yell at Gray, but then we'd make up pretty quick. You and Evan would just be passive aggressive with each other.
We're
and fighting constantly.
Very prideful people. So it's also like,
God, I love that's such a turn on for me about both of you two. God, I love that.
So it would just be like, I'm not gonna lose my cool. Oh my God, I get anxiety just thinking about it. Actually, what I love about Evan is the things I love about myself too. Driven. Passionate, smart as hell,
charismatic, hardworking.
So yeah, I mean, like, I bet we would have a crazy podcast.
Yep.
Podcasts.
Yeah, you guys actually probably have a really funny podcast together.
We'd probably have a clothing line. We'd probably have, like you said, 1 million businesses. And yeah, actually, everyone would probably help me get off the ground with some of the stuff that I want to do.
He's very much wired in the way that you come up with more ideas and he will start more ideas.
Ugh, I need more of that in my life.
He's great with that. And then, but then as far as them staying, that might be a different animal. The longevity of it.
That's why last week when I was like, guys, we've done over 200 episodes. That was like, blew my mind.
Wildly shocking. I will say the other day, Evan said, and this is high praise. It's basically like him probably saying that's like him talking to himself. But Evan he's a hard, like, he won't sit and talk with everyone for a long time. He's pretty here and there and whatever. He said the other day that you were one of the very few people in the whole world that he's like, I feel like I could talk to Becca for 3 days straight.
Oh my God. When we all three when I come over to your house to record, I always get home. I'll be like, I have a hard out at 3:45, guys. I gotta like miss traffic and get home to my kids. We'll sit and talk easily for like an hour and a half. No problem.
No. He's always like, I could talk to her for 3 hours.
What a no problem. Same thing with Evan. We could just about everything and just to see what do you think about that? And the great thing about Aquarius is that I thought about how I had to say this on the podcast the other day. My opinion will change based on what I had for breakfast.
Yes.
Whether I got 7 hours of sleep or 7 hours and 15 minutes. And I'm talking not just my opinion on someone on The Bachelor. I'm talking about my opinion on politics, religion, the state of the world. It changes every day.
Now, this is a good transition because one of the questions that I was going to ask, and it involves that, is behind this. Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, what is one thing that annoys each of you about each other? Do you ever argue with each other? And if so, how do you resolve? And I was going to say, what makes me crazy about Evan, I have the same feeling with you because I pride myself in being able to guess the direction someone will go in. Like, I feel like I can read someone pretty well. And I'm like, I know someone's response to this. I know how they're going to feel about this topic. And just like my husband, been with him for 15 years now. Just like him, I don't know how you will feel about anything. And it can make me nuts.
And that's why you love us at the same time, though. It's the worst and the best.
But I'm like, it sparks my brain. Because then I'm always excited. Because I'm like, wait, now I have to figure out this different lane.
And infuriated.
Yes.
Simultaneously.
But it's one of those things. And that's the thing with Evan. I never know. Every time I send him like a YouTube, I'm like, you're going to think this is so funny. 50% of the time, he's just like, that wasn't funny. And I'm like, but
and the other half of the time, it's like, this is the funniest thing ever.
I can never guess what it's going to be. And I feel like that's with you. Sometimes I'm like, oh, something happens in the world and I'm like, oh, this is going to set Beck off. She's going to be super pissed about this.
I don't give a shit.
And then I ask you and you're like, oh, that didn't bother me. I'm like, what the fuck? I knew this one. I'm like, this is Becca. This is going to make Becca, or Becca's isn't going to care about this. I cannot for the life of me guess.
And you know what? Maybe I would have cared the next day.
And that's the thing. And that's then what
but I don't
keeps it
care
exciting.
today. Or I do care, you know, based on the whatever the fuck happened in my day. Yeah, what dreams I had, who I talked to on the phone before getting here.
So yes, it changes. So it annoys me, but it also very much excites me.
And it's actually the same thing with Gray. He feels the same way. It's like I think it keeps him on his toes for both of you people who are bored by, you know, so many lovers and people.
Where we get bored very easily.
Yeah,
by
and so then
humans,
it's like, wow, this
unfortunately.
person is just someone different all the time. I remember I had an ex-boyfriend where he and I were the same way in that. And
Really?
it took us a long time to recognize it. But then it was like, oh, you said something different last week. Oh, that's because you thought something different last week about that. Now you think something different. And we're like, we understood each other in that way, which was very interesting. Very all over the place relationship, like it would be if Evan and I got together. Actually,
This makes sense.
Not exactly healthy.
All right, what annoys you the most about me?
You know, the stuff we've talked about on the podcast, your sensitivity, you know, where I'm just like, just fucking say it. And if they hate us, they hate us.
Yes.
And which also changes though in myself, because I will say, you know, fuck everyone, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we'll get feedback or we'll get some sort of criticism. And then I'm like, shit, like, why did we do that? Like, that was a bad idea. So it's more of my like, it doesn't actually have to do with me wanting to do certain things. It's my rebellious nature.
Sure.
And so when you want to follow the rules about certain things or do things by the book, then that irritates me.
It
irritates me.
because I'm just like, well, this is the plan A, B, and C that we were talking about, and they want us to do B, so we shall do B. And you're like, let's do C.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's very interesting.
But it's a good thing. It's the same thing with what you're saying about how there's the good bad, and it's a good thing because then that's a balance that I need.
Yeah. So basically, the things that annoy also complement,
Which is why it works.
And then as far
Which
as
is why we've done over 200 episodes together.
right, and as far as the question saying, do we ever argue? Not really. I mean,
No, we're both too afraid of losing friendships to argue with each other.
that's true. It's like, no, but I think too, I would say like at the beginning, the first year of the podcast, we would get into like more
It was like,
tiffs.
I'd say between like 6 and 18 months, it was a little bit rough.
Yes. And that was also like a huge transition for you life-wise. It was a huge transition
You were
for
going through a lot,
us
too.
life-wise. Evan had like a full life shift job. Like it was just, we both were in this kind of space where then we were trying to figure out like, oh, we're 6 months into this and now this is actually like, this is happening. So
I was getting a little bit of commitment phobia.
I think that was why it ended up now at this point, we've been able to hit these 200 episodes because we had to go through that hump of like, do we really want to do this? And these are the things that are going to be tough about it. And how do we work that out?
We definitely don't really argue anymore.
But we don't.
I don't even like, I can't
remember the last time that we.
No, and I don't really get like annoyed. I don't get annoyed really. Like I don't get seriously annoyed or like mad about anything.
I can't remember the last time that I was like peeved or irritated with you.
No, me neither.
But again, I think it was because then we had to kind of process through like it's a business. So you're dealing with like two business partners who don't know each other, having to start something that we're revealing things about ourselves twice a week.
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing to ask.
Yeah.
So I think there's more than dynamic that then you have to deal with versus a typical business where like I'm putting out product or I'm doing this. It's like, no, I'm being completely honest about who I am and how am I going to process that with like between the two of us, also revealing this to all the broads and how, you know, there's just so much of that.
I think we've been able to find a balance together and individually. Also, like there's been I've gotten a lot more discernment about like what I want to talk about and not want to talk about too on the podcast. And like being like, we don't have to put it all out there all the time, which is something we used to do. Fun. Listen back to our old episodes.
It's like, yikes. Whoopsie.
But you know what? It's so funny when you talk about that because I will say this. I love our relationship and everything that's come from it, but I have no interest in starting any businesses with any friends. And that's like something I really suggest to other people.
No, and you know what's so funny that you say that is that someone, I remember one of the messages that I saw when people were sending them in, someone said, how are you not going to have a call her daddy situation? And then I saw this, like, have you guys fought? Like, do you guys fight frequently, blah, blah, blah. And my brain went, you know what? I think the reason that we're able to make this work and have it be long-term and not have it be contentious is because, number one, again, started the friendship via...
Our lack of history prior.
Yep. And then on top of it, just seeing each other only on the podcast.
Yep.
Now...
Yeah, this is something I think people don't know or don't realize. We don't hang out. I mean, we do we'll go and get like dinner together, whatever, but we don't really spend time together off the podcast.
And I think the Call Her Daddy girls, Alexander and Sophia, they live together. You can't.
That's a recipe for disaster.
So hard. It's impossible. It's like, of course, when you and I sit on this couch, we're not bringing in the past 6 days worth of, oh, Jessica didn't do the dishes. She's been driving me crazy.
My God,
Becca left the lights all on. Our electricity bill is like that on top of everything. Like it's too much.
I feel like if they didn't have I actually see starting a business together very similar to roommates because I remember one of my best roommates.
Yep.
We didn't have history. We came in as acquaintances to being roommates, and then it worked because we figured shit out as we went without there being a precedent about how we communicate or whatever prior to being roommates.
Yep.
And I feel like a business is the same way. You gotta start early in that friendship, get the vibe for the other person, because you're also willing to let go then because you don't have history.
That's
like now
true.
we have all this history that we've built. But in the first 6 months of the podcast, we didn't have any stake. So we would be willing to let it go. I think that sometimes people hold on a little too long if they have maybe Alex and Sophia, like with Call Her Daddy, should have stopped earlier.
Yeah.
But they couldn't.
Or, moved out earlier, but they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings by being like, I need to move out. It's so funny because I just feel like obviously there's exceptions to the rules, but I would say the same thing. I would highly recommend starting a business with someone who's a dear friend of yours, unless you know the dynamic through and through. Obviously now, even if you and I were to start a business tomorrow and we'd have all this history, I think it's also different too, because it's you and I both live life very similarly where we're at our homes with our families mostly.
Aren't we all these days?
The irony. But it's one of those things where it's, it's even if the option to see each other more was there, you and I are in our stage of life where it's I'm not seeing tons of friends most of the time.
Yeah, not to mention we have other friends that I don't have to make time to hang out with Jess because I know I'm going to see you every week.
Right.
So there's no really need to, I know this sounds fucked up, but there's no need to put in effort to maintain the relationship because we text every day.
Correct.
We're the only ones we reply back to within an hour.
It's the only person I reply back to within a week.
Yeah, for straight up.
To be completely honest.
It might take 3 to 5 business days for everyone else for me to get back to you.
No, but it's true. But I think the factors of all of that is why it ended up working. And if you and I would have been friends for a long time beforehand, I mean, I don't think that it could have lasted.
I don't think so either.
Because you have to be honest in ways that sometimes you wouldn't have been in a friendship before. It's complex.
Too tricky. I really don't recommend starting a business with your friends.
I don't recommend starting a business with your friend or with your romantic partner.
Same with lending money to people. That's something my dad taught me.
Oh yeah, lending money to friends.
Yeah, or loved ones. My dad said if you're going to lend money to a loved one, consider it a gift and don't expect payment back.
Ooh, those are some hot truths.
Yeah. That's some wisdom.
That is some serious wisdom. Give it as a gift and then yeah.
Yeah, cuz he's like, "Do you want $200 to be the cause of your friendship to end?" If you don't, then either don't lend the money in the first place or make it a gift.
Those are some hot truths.
Yeah. So anyway, should we take a pause before we continue on?
Let's take a quick pause. Speaking of our podcast, let's talk about some of our sponsors. Parents, caregivers of little ones. You know, this year has been hard, okay, on you, on your kiddos, on their teachers, on everyone. You may be feeling like it's time to call in some backup. We get it, which is why we're so excited to tell you about your new favorite parenting and learning tool, KiwiCo. KiwiCo is a hands-on learning box that comes delivered to your door each month and will no doubt inspire your little one to keep learning all year long.
These crates are so cool, and they're perfect for not only young learners, but curious minds of any age, actually. This is something I learned recently. They have older ages. So fun.
I know.
Each batch of projects has one specific focus in subjects like art, science, and geography, based on the specified age range. So all the supplies are included, as well as easy to follow instructions, and everything you need is delivered right to you for hours of fun and learning.
Around our house, we're trying to make the holidays as extra special as possible, with a lot of our go-to places and traditions not being an option this year. We're doing our best to create those wow moments with Ember at home, and KiwiCo really does the trick. Ember gets so excited when the crate arrives. Actual screaming happens. We spend the whole afternoon going through every crate because she just can't stand to take a break. And she's so excited to see what is up next because they always have different themes every month, which is so fun. And even when things return to normal, KiwiCo crate it's going to be a family go-to throughout the holidays, every month. I mean, it's just something we're going to continue doing for a long time. She loves it.
KiwiCo is redefining learning with hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. And there's something for every kid or kid at heart at KiwiCo. You can get 50% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate line with code CHATTY at kiwico.com. That's 50% off your first month at KIWICO.com, promo code CHATTY.
Well, Broads, one very charming quality about myself, one of many, of course, is that I have a very short attention span, like we were just talking about.
Yes, we were.
Gray and I, we can get bored quick, and I will start something on Monday and be completely over it by Friday, and this applies to everything from new recipes to TV shows to workouts, especially workouts. You name it, I've tried it. But the one workout that has kept me coming back for more than 1 week after more than 1 week is boxing.
Get it, queen.
I'm not just talking about any old boxing. Boxing from the pros at Fight Camp, my new favorite workout.
Okay, so in a nutshell, Fight Camp is the only program that brings the boxing gym to you. Literally. You'll get everything you need for a great full body workout, including a freestanding punching bag, boxing gloves, hand wraps, and their unique punch tracking sensors that actually show you real-time progress as you move through your workout. And of course, you have access to over 600 different workouts for every level, from beginner to seasoned pro.
That's important because I won't lie. At first, I was a little intimidated. Boxers are badass, and I wasn't sure if I could keep up. But Fight Camp's beginner program walked me through all the fundamentals and helped me build on that knowledge each time I worked out. And not to brag or anything, but I think I'm getting pretty good at boxing now, which is very exciting for me. And I'm definitely feeling more comfortable and confident. And I just don't see myself getting bored with this ever. I'm a huge Fight Camp fan. It's fun. It's challenging. I'm in.
Fight Camp offers flexible financing for as low as 0% APR and $0 down. And right now, as a limited time holiday offer, you can get free shipping and a gift valued at up to $109 with every Fight Camp package. So just go to joinfightcamp.com/chatty. You're going to get free shipping and a gift valued at up to $109 with your purchase. Bring an authentic boxing and kickboxing gym into your home with Fight Camp. Get your free gift. Go to joinfightcamp.com/chatty. joinfightcamp.com/chatty.
Becca, have you ever said someone else's name while hooking up with a different person?
I saw that one. I was going to ask that one to you when you're in the bathroom. No, I mean, I don't. Can I ask you this? Do you say Evan's name that much when you have sex? Do you?
Instead of moaning, I only say Evan. Evan. No, I don't say his name often.
I find that like a really interesting sex trope. Mm-hmm. I can probably count on my hand the number of times I've said someone's name while having sex.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever...
That feels uncomfortable.
I don't think I've ever moaned someone's name.
Yeah, I've maybe like done it
except my own.
Yes, Jess. I think I've probably done it to like try it out, since that's something that people say.
Yeah, you like workshopped it.
Yeah. You're like,
No, I don't.
That's odd.
Saying someone's name. Now, I've said someone's name. I've said the wrong person's name in bed in more of like
a honey sweetie kind of way.
Yeah, in more like a post-sex type thing. Like I called this guy who I was dating when Evan and I were broken up, Evan, in bed.
Yeah. I've just like done it and no. I've just like done it and I did it with like I remember when Gray and I were dating, I did it with a very old ex, and that was so bizarre. I was like, I have no idea why I just said that person's name.
Yeah, isn't it weird like that your brain will then spark? I mean, but I call Ember Boris, my dog, all the time.
That's
so I'm
normal.
kind of like, well, if I'm in bed with someone.
I mean, I think it's usually like, I don't know. So the answer is no, because I don't really say, I cannot imagine
someone's name.
I cannot imagine having sex and being like, Grayston. That's just so weird to me.
Doesn't that feel?
I'm not shaming anyone. It's just, to me, it feels weird.
No, but it feels very like you have like a nightgown on.
Totally.
What's his name?
And like, maybe some little like fuzzy high heels, and you're like,
yes, like you have a martini and you're like, oh, Evan, oh my God, I've never worked ever.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you're home today, Grayston.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it's such a trope of they're going down on you or something. And you're just like, Grayston. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I would
never do that.
Yeah, I guess like if I would hear someone do it, it sounds hot, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it myself.
I would do it like I would say it in a sentence. I could be like, "Oh my God, Gray."
Yeah, sure.
Say something like that. That's not weird.
Sure.
But I would never just say his name. Like in the throes of a climax, how people talk about this, of saying an ex's name and being like,
I also
Chris, what? I'd never do that.
I also feel weird saying Evan's name.
I do too. See, when I was just, I felt more comfortable saying Evan than saying Grayston.
Really?
When I was just now pretending to do it.
And I felt more comfortable saying Grayston.
Yeah.
Maybe we should switch.
Maybe this is a sign.
Maybe this
No,
is...
that's so funny you say that, because I felt uncomfortable pretending to say Grayston's name. It feels weird.
Evan. Like I'm thinking about like an ex of mine and thinking about saying my ex's name like Jared. Like that sounds fine. That feels fine to me. But Evan, or like I call him Ev more than Evan, being like Ev.
Is it just weird that we're saying it on like recording?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe I call him Babe more than his actual name.
Yeah.
Or like Sugar Pie or whatever.
Sugar Sweetie Love.
Do you have any baby names for Gray?
We just do more like baby
Pet
talk.
names?
We
Yeah.
definitely do baby talk all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's really weird.
That's so, I just can't picture it at all.
It's not like a conscious thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a thing that we just start doing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so gross. Yeah, if I was to repeat it and say it right now, it's just weird.
I definitely have, oh God, this makes me so uncomfortable. I don't think I don't talk in like a baby way to him, but I say words weird. Like I change words around and we have like specific words. Like,
yeah.
I know.
This
makes my body hurt.
I know. I have similar cringe things to confess, so just go for it.
But like,
and we'll judge each other and it'll be okay.
Okay. But like whenever I'm talking to Evan and like instead of me saying like I'm tired or like I'm sleepy, I'll say I got the shreeps. Like I'm shreepy.
That's like less cringy.
Okay, but like but me being like that's just one of many. But I'll just I'll be like, oh, I got the shreeps.
Yeah. And
then you'll be like, oh, do you have the shreepies? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, see, it's
and
so
like,
we do similar
God.
we do similar super cringy stuff like that. Or we'll say like we'll say mommy or daddy to each other.
Yeah, I call him daddy a lot, but I feel like when you do that in front of the kids.
Well, I know we'll do that, but then it'll be like ugh, like in a weird sexual kind of like, oh, like is mommy mama.
Okay.
I hate admitting that. It's so gross. But it just happens.
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens. I understand.
Ugh.
I am like now thinking about how many words I change around. That makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
we make up words, and we have our own weird like language.
It's just because you spend so much time with the person. But we definitely have certain voices and weird. So funny
Like he
because like
speaks to you in an accent when
one
you're
of my
horny.
ex-boyfriends and I used to have this like inside joke of talking in a certain way.
Okay.
And I still think it's so funny that I told Gray about it, and he thinks it's so funny that
So you guys have
we
started.
do the same thing that me and my ex-boyfriend used to do, like this same like the same way of talking.
That's so funny.
But
Cut to threesome.
cut to that's probably not gonna go.
Probably
there.
not going to happen.
Probably not gonna go there. Actually, Gray he was talking about that. We were talking about open relationship stuff and like oh what stuff would you not be comfortable with? And he was like, oh, I would feel threatened if you said like, oh, I want to go hook up with like this ex because I miss them. He's like, that would make me feel threatened. He didn't say like he wouldn't do it, but he was like, that would be a trigger for me.
Did you see that was one of the questions that people were asking since all of our polyamory episodes? Have anything changed in our relationship?
It's sort of funny because it seems like one of those things where we've talked extensively about it conceptually, but then it's like, will we ever pull the trigger of being like, okay, you go out on a date with someone? I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you guys had more conversations surrounding it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, like, I think I brought this up on the podcast, but initially when, the whole concept was when I first brought it up to Evan, like, he had reactions from like a place.
I know we had arguments with each other about it.
Yeah, you and Evan were fighting about it. And he had arguments from a place of, that kind of that the knee jerk, raised in a very conservative Christian home that's just the focus is monogamy and like whatever. And so he really didn't like know much about like polyamory.
Well, and also the supernatural fear of like, what if my partner finds someone else they like more?
Of course. But even just like the concept, he was like, he was kind of wrestling with the idea. And then after we started doing our episodes and he started to like, he's editing them. So he's listening to them and then he's researching other things. And now all of a sudden he's just become the king of talking pro non-monogamy to our families who are very conservative in the Aquarian way.
So he's weaponizing it, but
he himself is in currently a monogamous relationship, but goes and will literally just fight with our like his family and my family and be like, no, this is why, like, and talking very like a lot of what we talked about with Kevin Patterson in our episode, just breaking down like why we have this funny concept like 50% of marriages end in divorce, monogamous relationships.
Why do we have this concept that monogamy works,
right?
Per se?
And then he's been talking
or
a lot
better
with the family about processing through jealousy and that whatever. And I'm like listening to him, and so we've been having a lot of more conversations about it. But it's a similar thing where I'm like, will we ever? I don't know.
But I think more importantly, what you're talking about that I found really valuable is I think having these discussions about non-monogamy brings so much to a monogamous relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Like breaking down the jealousy and fear of losing the relationship. And I recently finished this. I think I've talked about it a lot on the podcast or mentioned it in passing, but I finished this book called Opening Up. And it just breaks down all these different types of relationships, from people that have group marriages to a primary partner, but they're allowed to just hook up casually to there's so many different types of non-monogamous relationships that people have, from just like the don't ask, don't tell, you get to hook up with people once thing, to people that literally have committed marriages with 6 people.
Yeah.
There's so many different. So reading that book, I thought, I would really encourage even monogamous folks to read it because it really expands your mind and just makes you more open. Because there are actual discrimination things that non-monogamous people face. Like they can lose their kids in custody battles because that can be weaponized against them. Like if they have, because that can be like an unstable life.
Yeah.
Can't you if you're going to like buy things, like let's say you have like a committed triad or even how parental rights would work if you're in a committed like 3-person relationship and stuff. Because this isn't just like, I think people always think like, oh, kinky sex stuff, but there are people in non-monogamous relationships who are very committed, who have children together, who have lives, and they just love more than one person.
Yeah, it's definitely, I got to read that book.
It's really good.
Opening Up.
Yeah.
It's definitely like,
and you can borrow it. I have my Kindle, and you can also use the Kindle app, and I use Libby to just get it from the library.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's definitely one of those conversations that if you are in a relationship, that even if you're not ever considering non-monogamy, it really has, for Evan and mine's relationship over the past 6 months, really helped in a lot of ways, just having these conversations that we hadn't ever before, and breaking down a lot of like us realizing how many concepts we had that were formed around like, misogyny culture, toxicity, all of this, that all of a sudden we're having these amazing conversations that even if we decide to remain monogamous with each other forever, that it's really important conversations surrounding those topics, also surrounding jealousy in a marriage, also surrounding the need to be independent.
Yeah, and security.
It's helped with us process through financial pieces. Having really open conversations about like, hey, I know this is uncomfortable, but we have to have really open conversations about like, hey, guess what? I'd like to be with you for forever today, but there's a chance that all of a sudden we don't want that anymore.
So do we give up everything that we've built with each other because of that?
Right.
Yeah.
Would we stay together, or then also protecting yourself financially as well? And then there not being that conversation where you're feeling like, hello, spouse, I know this is uncomfortable, but I'd also like to have a nest egg in case you leave me one day.
Yeah.
But you have to have those conversations to protect yourself. And then you have to be able to have those conversations and a partner not get upset about the reality of, we're not planning on getting divorced, but guess what? It might happen.
I think it makes you feel more secure. To me, it actually does the opposite effect that people expect.
Yeah,
I think it makes you feel more secure and safe and confident and happy in your relationship.
Yeah, it's like that even if something new comes up, and that's what life is, right? It's always the unexpected.
Maybe it's our sense of control, though.
True.
It could be like the aspects of our personality and maybe mental issues where we need to feel like we have a grip on uncertain
that's very
stuff.
true. It might give more people anxiety, but yeah, for me it's been like, okay, now I have an idea that we've communicated this, and
to be honest, it was like a really big part of me not wanting to get married is the idea of a monogamous relationship for the rest of my life. Like, it's not even the sex thing. I was just like, oh my God, you only get one life to live. And the thought of me never being able to
YOLO so hard.
I YOLO hard. You only get one life to live. And there are a lot of things that matter to me and things that don't matter to me. But like the thought of never being able to have that thrill of butterflies in your stomach when you're texting your crush thing, that kind of wigs me out. And same with Gray. Gray feels the same way. He loves that like new relationship energy.
It's the best feeling in the whole world.
Oh, what a thrill. What a high.
And even to be able to have like a really honest conversation with your partner and saying, I'm scared that I won't get that thrill again. And then there be the safety of your partner hears you on the other side and then can reveal that they also feel that way, that even then all of a sudden, cut to 6 months from now and maybe y'all are still like, we're going to be physically monogamous, but we can have fun little sexting with other people or whatever.
Yeah. Or even just like it really took out some jealousy to even talk about that. And even like some girl that was flirting with Gray on Instagram and me being like, ooh, what are you going to say back to her? Because there's just safety. I'm like, he's not going to cheat on me. Like, it's not going to happen.
And then for you to also know that that's, like that you can like be like participating.
Yeah, it was so funny. Plus he's just like I already trust him before having those conversations. Yeah. Like looking back through this girl, every time she messaged him, he just double taps, doesn't even say anything back.
You're like,
okay. But there's also the safety too of knowing that, instead of cheating, you could ask your partner. You could be like, I'm interested in this person. They might not react great. Anyway, so I could see maybe in the future, right now there is so much on my plate. I can't even begin to comprehend dating someone.
No, it sounds like a lot, but
not interested right now. But we have had the conversation that we would be open to non-monogamy if either of us was seriously interested in the future, and neither of us are seriously interested right now. It's fun enough to just talk through fun, silly scenarios.
We have similar energy from it, but I would then say you never know. We'll see.
You never know.
We'll see what the future holds.
Let's see. Crazy sexual fantasy, not going there. Sorry, guys, not going there today.
That is not going to be revealed.
So someone asked, have you ever not aired an interview? We won which I don't even think I've messaged her about it. We lost all the audio when we recorded
2 interviews.
twice.
We lost all the audio. It was the same day.
What a waste of a day. Not because we had great conversations, but no one gets to hear them.
I know, and I feel so bad because they were 2 friends. Like she was your friend.
Yeah,
and
my friend Quigley. We had her on, and
my friend Abby, and we lost audio, and it sucks. And we were like, well, and oh God, you feel so bad.
Yeah, someone spent their time.
You feel so bad. They gave.
I don't
your
know
time.
if I even ever told Quigley that. So if you're listening, I am so sorry we lost all the audio. Maybe
that
we
was
can do it again.
That was a really
good
episode.
we recorded about basically like inside an influencer life.
Yeah,
which I actually wouldn't mind doing that again and having her on because she has quite some interesting stuff with her birth and baby stuff.
Oh yeah. Also, and the concept too. I remember seeing one of the questions somewhere was like, you know, asking basically about like social media influencer wise, like, is it great? Is it worth it? I mean, like whatever, a question regarding like, is it tough behind the scenes sometimes, which is like such like it feels like such an uncomfortable thing to talk about because it feels like just an insane mass level of privilege, but like it's definitely, you know, when you're putting yourself out there and
it's fucking hard. Yeah. It is. And like it is, I don't think it's something, I hate to be one of those people, but I don't think it's something that you can understand unless you're experiencing it.
Yeah.
Quite truthfully, because I remember I briefly posted something about it on Instagram, and, you know, I got a few messages that were, you know, like, this is out of touch. But that is so funny because there's every single influencer that follows me messaged and was like, yes, and like poured their heart out to me over a quick DM response. And these are people from all sorts of different walks of life that have done all sorts of different jobs and are like, yes, this is hard. I promise you it's hard.
I think just evolutionarily, our wiring is not created to take on thousands and thousands of people's personal opinions about you. Us. It's literally like anti-evolutionarily in our 100%. Wiring. So I think just social media in general, people feel that because they're ingesting way more people than they ever would evolutionarily, right?
Yeah.
And then you add someone giving you their opinion. It's definitely, it's very.
And you develop, or at least I developed sort of compulsive habits to deal with it.
Yeah.
Which sometimes has to do with just completely saturating yourself in it or just completely tuning out, both of which don't really work well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a funny one because I need to ask if this is... Someone asked Jess, have you ever thought about hooking up with Becca? And doesn't everyone consider hooking up with every person they encounter or having a relationship with? Or is that just a thing that I do? Is that an intrusive thoughts thing? Because like
I think that's an intrusive thoughts thing.
I can't help but think about hooking up with almost every single person that I interact with.
You go there like with like it just is an automatic thought.
At some point, yes, with every single person. I can't help but think about it.
That feels like that would be really hard.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
Sometimes. I wouldn't say every single person, but a lot of people. Like I can't help but go there.
You know what's so funny? Yeah, I definitely don't have that with everybody. It pops in very, very randomly for me. And it surprisingly doesn't happen that often.
I feel like that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Just like
I consider myself a fairly like sexually wired individual. But when I'm like interacting with someone, unless I'm like, I am sexually interested in you, it doesn't pop in that often. But to answer the question, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
when I first met you, before we started the podcast together.
I know. Now it's one of those things where that's so weird. Like,
no, but when I started... Well, before we started the podcast together, this is so uncomfortable. Well. Well,
I'm really hot and sexy.
You are very hot and sexy. But I remember before we started the podcast together, we were at... What I was about to say the address because that's how we always refer to the house. Oh my God. But I will not say the address. But we were at that house, you know which house I'm talking about. And it was like I had only briefly been introduced to you. And I think it was like a Christmas party or something. And you were just looking so cute.
Oh my God, I know exactly what New Year's this was.
Yep. And
it was New Year's.
It was New Year's. And you were just dancing around just like very freely. Like I think you might have been like smoking a joint. And I remember being like, I wouldn't mind having sex with that woman. But you were very like, there was this very like magical energy around you.
Oh wait, it wasn't New Year's. I was wearing this crazy dress.
It was a Christmas party, I think.
And I was wearing this insane dress that I still have.
And I think you had this energy coming off of you that I would imagine everyone in the room was thinking about having sex with you.
Well, I was trying to give that off because there was someone in the room that I wanted to have sex with, and it wasn't you.
We tried.
But actually, was that like, yeah, that was like a very specific, that was true because I had this energy where I was so intoxicated with this other person that was also there that I just wanted them to like notice me. So it was this super heightened, like my makeup, my hair, my dress, everything was just like, notice me.
You were screaming sensuality. That's for sure.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times in my life. I don't think that's weird though. I think it's super normal.
You're like, well, if you'd ask any human being,
no,
yes.
You know what I realized? I think it is a little bit of it doesn't happen with everyone, but it's an intrusive thoughts thing with people that I care about that I think I'm like, I would be scared. Oh my God, I just realized this. I had this ever since like high school. Like with girlfriends, I was like scared that I would be sexually attracted to them and that I would make a move on them and then it would ruin our friendship.
Yeah.
So it's like sort of like an obsessive thing where I'd be like in bed and it would be like, am I making this weird? Like,
sure.
Like, am I sexually attracted to them? Like, am I going to like want to have sex with them?
That I completely understand.
So I think it's more like that.
Yeah. The fun shame culture around her upbringing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
that makes sense to me.
What season of Bachelor would you most want to be on?
Well, that's a tough one because the season of The Bachelor that I would most... Okay. This has nothing to do with the person. In fact,
it's the girls?
It's the girls. I would have loved to be on the shit show of Peter's season.
Ooh.
To be a fly on the wall, to be able to participate in some of those conversations. I would have come down.
Some of those fights and whatnot.
Oh, like the whole Alea Sydney thing. I would have been like, no, I'm mediating the shit out of this. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. And I would have wanted to be that person in the house. The only downside of being on that season would have been that you didn't get your paradise right away because of the pandemic. So that's the only one. But I definitely probably Peter's season.
I would say Nick's, but I wouldn't have been able to handle Corinne's energy. I would have been seething with jealousy.
Oh, yeah.
Because she would be the center of attention and I would lose my marbles.
Yeah. Nick's was my automatic one because before I knew him, I'm like, oh my God, he's the hottest one, whatever. And now we're like friends with him. So
yeah, true.
Sorry, Nick. It's a very different vibe. But
I could see myself being on Ben's season and enjoying being around the girls.
Oh yeah, that was a good group.
Because I kind of like following some of them on social media now. So I might enjoy being on Ben's.
Do you know that which season was filled with like the women that came in and have been around?
Ari's season?
Obviously. Chris Soules.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. We had a lot of people. I think it was, you had Becca Tilley, Caitlin Bristow. I mean, like that was a season that was filled with a lot. It looked like it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was like fun friendships. Like people came out of that season. They were all
Becca
really
was
good
on
friends.
Ben's though too.
Oh yeah, huh? She did the double.
She did.
I forgot about that.
She did. Oh, I've got to go because I know you're going to have a funny answer for it. If you could live in a different time, what time would you live in?
I know exactly where I am.
I see it. I see candles.
I see a lot.
I see tassels. I see tassels everywhere.
No, this is me. Sorry if you're not watching the YouTube. Long candlestick and very much like pulling back the drape. And it's nighttime, like Wuthering Heights style. Just like, where's my Heathcliff? And I live on the moor and I'm like all alone. And I'm like very dewy looking always. I mean, I know it's ancient times and probably this ancient times. The caveman is
okay. If you're not in Egypt, though, obviously, because I think we've answered something similarly, and then of course there's Egypt. But,
yes, of course.
But you got to get lucky and make sure you're not a peasant in Egypt.
This is the whole thing
so
about
you like
everything.
Being the romantic peasant? In
No. I am loaded, and I'm in a dark castle.
Yeah.
Because my aunt, who is extremely ill, I have to take care of her all the time, but she has so much money, and it's just
sort of like Little Women status.
Yes,
you have to read her books. And
and I have to just knit for her constantly. I'm so bad at knitting, so it just doesn't go well.
Her cat hisses at you.
Her cat hisses at me. There's the there's the whole staff there, but I'm the only one, and I am unbelievably beautiful. Tons of dresses for no reason. You know what I mean? No one ever sees me. And then one day someone gets lost in a storm and winds up at the home. Mm-hmm. And we make love.
Okay, so this is sort of like what time period? What century are we in?
Maybe is it like the 1800s?
Are you like Pride and Prejudice? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, so the 1800s.
Yes, which is like so basic to like Pride and Prejudice times. But I'm sure it was a nightmare.
I know.
In
you
real
like
life.
7 out of 8 of your children die. Like
yeah.
That kind
Also,
of shit's
like
horrible.
I have no rights as a woman. It's just absolutely horrendous. So I would say probably in actuality, if I could live in any time, it would be like now, but maybe not. I would live an eternal loop of my between 22 and 27.
See, the issue is that if you're in any other time period, I mean, I guess it's still sort of true now, but in a very different way. Mm-hmm. In any other time period, like pre-20th century, your decadent lifestyle is usually incredibly problematic because it usually means that there's someone enslaved or directly oppressed because of your decadent lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's very much like anytime you go back and you're like, oh, I would like to live in this time, it's always an elite situation.
Right. You have like
always
child
oppressive.
You have like you live in England in the 1800s, you have like child maids cleaning your coals out of your chimney. Like there's always issues.
I wonder, like, I don't know why I just keep thinking about like Mozart, Beethoven times.
Also
like,
1800s, I think.
Also 1800s.
No, 1600s, 1700s. Guys, we don't know shit.
My mom would be so disappointed in me. She was a history teacher. My bad. There's really no time that you can go back to. There's nothing.
Really. It's not.
And then like, Greek times.
Ooh, it does sound fun. I think Greece, I love the climate. It's very similar to California.
Yeah.
It is. It's like on the same, equator.
I know. The weather is absolutely fantastic. But, there's definitely a lot of like orgies happening. I believe.
Ancient Greece sounds wild. And I'm very wild. Here for it.
I do love Greek mythology. But also, there's so many problematic issues. Like it's just where do you even...
I also think I could really kill it in the 50s though, as a housewife.
Yeah, you would be very good in the 50s. But no, not as a housewife.
Really?
Only a star.
Oh, yes.
Only a star. You're making your way to Hollywood, honey. And you're on Hollywood Boulevard when it was truly Hollywood. And it was
glamour.
Decadent. And you were in your...
We go to Ramon's Chinese Theater.
Yes, and you were in your convertible and you had your little
like I Love Lucy style, basically.
Yes, your little scarf around your hair. And you were just like, one day my face is gonna be on the big screen, boys. And like all the men like pile into the back of your... Yeah.
I like that. I really like, I'm on the beach and I have like, see, it's weird because, like slut shaming was a thing, but it was also like sort of weirdly socially appropriate to have like 15 boyfriends surrounding you at the beach, like vying for your attention.
Yeah.
And that's something that doesn't really like happen so much anymore.
No.
And I miss that. I want to bring that back.
I follow this like a classic account and it's all these, women around that time. And in every single movie, there was a woman who was, at least, I shouldn't say that because I haven't watched all these movies, but it's a woman who is in like a power position.
Like all these suitors.
Sexually. And everyone's begging for her attention. And she's just like, no, 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 no.
I know.
I'm kind of like, well,
I like that.
Don't hate
we can keep it. Okay.
I was talking to my grandma the other day because they moved to Los Angeles from Switzerland in like the heyday of Hollywood.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And she was talking about how wild.
Why did they move to LA in particular?
Well, at first they moved to New York, and then they moved to Los Angeles because that's where my grandfather started his like chemical dyeing and finishing company. Everyone was just in that area. Drove around with her like 2 years ago around Los Angeles. She just couldn't believe it. It's just so different.
Wow.
She said Hollywood really was like Hollywood Boulevard was. She's like, you drive down and you'd see, and everyone was dressed up like to the tens. And now it's very sketchy there.
Yeah, don't like Hollywood Boulevard. Don't recommend going there
If
if you're
you
visiting.
would like to go to Los Angeles, everyone's always like, oh yeah, I would go to
Venice Beach and Hollywood Boulevard.
No. Plenty of other places to go that are wonderful in Los Angeles. I
Yeah.
would not recommend going to Hollywood Boulevard.
Where would you recommend? Like, I would recommend going up to the...
Topanga is beautiful.
Oh, yeah, Topanga Canyon's beautiful. I was going to say, some of the cliche places to visit are still fantastic. Like the Star place. What's that place called? Like a planetarium.
Oh, in Griffith Observatory?
Yeah, like
Yes.
Griffith Observatory
Stunning.
is still a great one.
Malibu's beautiful.
Malibu is beautiful, but just kind of another beach town, really.
Yeah, but you know, it's I don't know. LA is it's large. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like dense.
There's cities within the city.
Yeah.
So that's also why I say LA has something for everyone, because there's suburbs, there's...
Yeah.
You know where I love going to is like the really like old money part of sort of
Pasadena.
no, not Pasadena. Pasadena is beautiful.
I love
no,
the
like
Pasadena.
sort of like over by like Wilshire area. What was that area?
Larchmont.
Yes. Like Larchmont area. That's a great place to go if you want to like visit LA.
Larchmont
And kind of like
is
get a little bit of an
fantastic.
experience and drive through some of the neighborhoods and see the houses.
And you're driving right next to Paramount Studios, so you get the
Yeah.
whole thrill of like, ooh, like the movies.
Yeah.
Honey, the movies.
the movies, baby. Yeah, that's a good
it's-
place to go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, Los Angeles.
Any other ones?
Let's see. Here's one for you. Oh, this is a really good question.
Is it?
If you hadn't had kids with Gray, do you think you would still be together?
No, I saw that one and I was curious. Did we talk about that when we had our episode together like ages ago?
Kind of. You kind of went over
Because
it.
we talk about this constantly. Absolutely not. We wouldn't be together if we didn't have kids. We were like on our way out. The relationship was 3 months in and not doing great, honey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just like both really like stubborn people. Yeah, I don't know. We were just not feeling it. We were not feeling it the whole first year. We weren't feeling it the whole time I was pregnant. Pretty much hated each other, loathed each other. Pretended like we didn't though. And then later on we admitted it. Again, it was one of those things where like, oh, you hated me too and wanted out of the relationship and didn't really love me. Oh my God, same. Wow, I feel so good now knowing that.
Feels so
no,
same.
no sarcasm. It was like, wow, that feels so good.
it's like a relief. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, thank God. Now I'm not just like a horrible bitch. So yeah, we wouldn't have made it. But now we're better than ever, bitches.
Isn't that wonderful how that works?
Aren't you all so jealous of me?
Oh my God, some of these are so intense. What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw that. You think I'm going to tell you the worst thing I've ever done?
Absolutely not, honey. I'm not looking for a lawsuit.
Can you like think of one singular worst thing you've ever done? Because I don't think I can. I've done a lot of bad things.
I mean, my brain right away goes to like the really stereotypical, like stealing, cheating,
Yeah, those are
murder,
stupid.
you know, and I'm like,
I feel like it's like the little things, like little mean things that you've like said to someone.
The fact,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the fact of the matter is probably the worst things I've ever done are ones that would be, you know, more involved with like divisive friendship stuff. Like that's the shit that haunts me. Like where I'll lay in bed at night all of a sudden and be like, oh my God, I can't believe, like even years later, just like that I said that to that person, or like, you know, I'll think about that type of stuff more so than like stealing.
Yeah, I'll
something.
think about like ghosting a friend because I couldn't bring myself to like end the friendship.
Yes.
It's like those things
Yeah.
are just like the little bad things that aren't little and that, you know, hurt someone.
Yeah.
That-
when I know
that
that I
shit
like
sucks.
knowing that you like really hurt someone is the worst. I think that's the worst thing I can think of things that I've done. And then I stole the Birkin bag that one time.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just kidding.
I wish you were telling the truth.
I wish. Oh my God.
What?
What's your Real Housewives tagline?
Oh, I'm so good at these.
You are good at this type of stuff. And this is not my forte.
I made up on The Bachelor. I made up Real Housewives taglines for every single girl. Like, it was so fun. And I made one of the producers has a video.
Yeah, why don't we have this footage?
I don't know, but one of the producers has like a video on his phone, and I gave everyone a tagline, and then we made all the girls come out and like each one of us did their thing. Like Chelsea's or something like, I may be that mom, but I'm that mom you'd like to fuck, or something like that. Like each person had a thing, and we were all like holding martini glasses and like pointing them at the camera. Oh, I wish I knew who had this video.
Do you have yours that you remember that you made up for yourself?
It was something about age, you know. It was all like kind of relevant to the Bachelor drama, but we just had those are like the random things we just had so much fun with. So let's see, our taglines. They come up with different ones every season, don't they?
Every single season they come up with a different one.
I know. I would hate that. I'd want to keep mine forever.
I'd be like, I know, like once you get attached to one, you're like, I really worked this one out, okay?
Yes.
But it always
like
has to do...
The best one's Ramona's.
Ramona's.
Which actually I think Caitlin Bristow put in her bio, but it's one of my favorites ever. I'm an acquired taste. If you don't like me, acquire some taste.
Oh, that's so good.
That one's just...
Is that Ramona's?
I thought so.
I thought that was the count. Was it the no, maybe not.
I thought it was Ramona. Maybe I'm wrong. Please correct me if I am. I do. God bless.
It sounds like Ramona.
I do not want to say quote the wrong housewife.
Like, that is a cardinal sin. Okay. I'm so bad at this type of stuff. We got to do a theme. So you have to like... this is just me as a human.
Well, no, but I mean like you have to... I know, but usually someone like...
Where's my camera?
Well, like it could be something have to do with like religion. Like something with Christianity, you start to, or like your motherhood, or like fashion, like or
what about this? What about this? What about this? I may be sensitive, but you're a bitch.
That's great. Let's workshop that, and we'll get back to you.
They just overdub my mouth with something else. They're just like, well. All right.
Like, oh, I'm a woman who loves the Lord and her husband. I'm always on my knees.
That's so good.
That's such a good one.
That's so good. Oh my.
And you go and do the little dress swish.
Oh my God. That's so good.
Oh, I like that one. That's good for you, you know?
Oh, that's so good.
I love the Lord and my husband. I'm always on my knees. I would love to see that on Real Housewives. Okay. What are mine? Babies,
but also my thing with you would be like, okay, you're coming on the show known to be someone who was on The Bachelor.
Okay, so this is like real life.
So I'd want like reality TV or The Bachelor involved. Oh wait, I got one. Ari may not have picked me. He's a bitch.
We hate him.
Everyone's just like, no. You're not getting it.
You're in the writer's room and they're just like, Jess, why don't you grab us some coffee? That's a good idea.
We got a new writer in. Her name's Jess Ambrose. We're going to, kind of go through a couple new lines today. Sit down. We're throwing out, there's a new, Real Housewives of Glassell Park. Like we're throwing it around, whatever. Real Housewives of Long Beach.
Now that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is a thing, I believe anything's possible.
That's very true. And it is wild.
I know. I've watched the first 2 episodes already.
Yeah. Whew, crazy. Love it.
Okay, so mine would have to be something with the final rose. I may not get the last rose, but I always get the last laugh. Or like I always have
good.
I might not have the final rose, but I always have the last laugh. Or it's like some shit like that.
That needs
some work.
But I like that because you know that you'd go in and you'd try to shit stir.
I could do.
When I tell you that
I love pot, stirring it and smoking it.
That's it.
It needs a little word tweaking.
No, that's it. Oh my God, no, that's so good. When I tell you my deep desire for you to be on the Real Housewives of Orange County, it's astronomical.
I actually kind of believe it's possible.
I know. It's very possible. And I'm sorry, you'd come in with a big following on Instagram already. Okay, you fucking stir the pot and you like to smoke it. And this season, it's so boring. This season, they need someone like you on the show.
I'm so young and problematic for them.
I know, and that would be the best thing ever.
Oh my God.
They would hate how young you are.
They would hate how I don't shave. Everyone, that would be definitely like one of the first episodes. I'd walk into a party in a shirt and they'd be like, it would be so good.
Oh, and then the shit that they would say behind your back about you not shaving.
And I'd be like, at least I can shave my legs. Like, are you going to get more filler in your cheeks? I just go so fucking savage.
Yeah. No, you'd be like, are you even able to bend over with those old knees? You bitch.
I just turn evil. I'm just so mean. Oh, I'm not that far from Orange County anymore.
That's what I'm saying. You're close.
Also, like
you always have to have a joint, even though I know you don't smoke that often.
Yeah.
But you'd always have that. Would then just be your thing. It would be like, oh, she's young and she's always.
And I gotta keep Ruth breastfeeding now until like I've been thinking about weaning her, but now I have to have her breastfeed until she's like 5.
Yes, you have to. And then every time that you're filming, Ruth is just attached to your tit
while I'm smoking a joint,
and everyone's just
losing their minds.
They're just like, this is so disgusting. Like, please put your tit back in.
Well, and I used to think you have to be super rich to be on Real Housewives. You don't really.
No, not at all.
And I think I'm rich enough to be on Real Housewives.
One of the big topics of conversation in this latest season is that Gina just went through like a divorce with Matt, and she initially came on and she was just, I think, a pretty again, standard Orange County type salary, which is still a lot, but now she got her own condo and she bought it. And apparently the whole rumor is that Bronwyn, one of the newer women, is saying that Shannon said that Gina's place is sad and depressing. And then you see Shannon go to the house and she's like, oh, this is so nice. And it's so small compared to Shannon's gigantic home. And then she was like going around being like, her house is sad and depressing. And so that's been one of the hottest topics. And then I think Gina's tagline is something about like, my house may be sad, but I'm sure not, or whatever. Like there's something like that.
Well, and a lot of these bitches are just like renting. So like I can rent a nice ass place.
Well, I think Shannon's renting, Bronwyn's renting. Now they're dropping like $20,000 a month. But it's like, you could go into wonderful debt and just continue to rent. And that's what the whole thing was. Gina was like, I'm proud. Like I bought this house with my own money. Like and you're like, yes, Gina, you go, queen. Like and I have to say too, Gina handled everything. Like she did not like come for any of them. She's just like, go ahead. You can think my house is sad. Like, I don't give a fuck.
How do you get on the show?
You have to know a producer. And it's like, you have to, typically one of the cast members like says, oh, here's a list of people that I think might be good for next season. So it's either via producer or cast members.
I'm in contact with Heather. I've met Shannon before.
You need to really tap into this.
I'm going to manifest this.
This is 2021. I'm telling you right now, Becca, the season is really, really boring because they lost Tamra and they lost Vicky. They need new spice. And you are everything that they need because they need somebody.
Am I too young?
No, that's why you'd be perfect.
And that's also great because then
I think you'd be the youngest. You'd be the youngest housewife ever. That your tagline could be something like that, like how you got shit on The Bachelor for being the youngest person, and now you're getting shit on because you're the youngest Real Housewives star. Andy Cohen, are you listening?
Yeah, and I could do a tagline too where I'm like, sure, age is just a number, but you're probably jealous of mine.
Oh my God. What about this? Sure, age is just a number, but you're old, bitch.
I like that way better.
Broads.
Age is just a number is something you say when you're old. Honestly, like it's so unethical for my family, like for my children and for my partner. But
you don't
I
have to show any of your children.
Oh, really?
No.
Really?
There's numerous housewives who never showed their kids.
I just act like Michael Jackson. I just put masks over them when we go out in public.
Yeah, 100%.
Even though they're all over my social media. I don't care either. Even if it is unethical, I still want to do it.
But I'm still going to do it. Broads, please slide into Andy Cohen's DMs and tag and send.
Wait. No, who are some of the current housewives?
On Orange County?
Yeah, like who I might actually be friends with because they should slide in that person. Like we should really mobilize a lot of people to slide into like.
Okay, Bronwyn,
Okay.
is one of the newer big ones. And actually, this was huge. Bronwyn is married with, and I think has 8 children, and she's one of the relatively new housewives. She, a couple days ago, they were like talking about their relationship struggling, her and her husband.
Yes.
And they've talked about how they would sometimes have threesomes and things. She came out about 3 days ago as a lesbian and said she's never really been attracted to men. She's staying married to her current husband because they feel like they're life partners. He's so supportive of her. Like their son.
How do you spell her name? How do you spell her name?
Brauw. Yeah, Bronwyn.
Found her.
And I think her oldest son just recently started to do drag, like for Orange County housewife.
Following.
She is like, yes. So Bronwyn, Gina. Gina's the youngest one.
Okay, we got to tell one person for everyone to go in their DMs and tell them to hang out with me or that I would like them.
Bronwyn.
I already actually like her looking on her Instagram.
You got to go to Bronwyn is, like I said, she's relatively new. I don't think she's going anywhere as far as like leaving the show anytime soon. And she is like,
guys, comment on Bronwyn's post
or DM her your profile.
Yes.
Just send a profile
and send something like, I think you need to be friends with this girl and get her on Real Housewives.
Yes. Mobilize,
please, guys. Please. We need this content.
Can you imagine? This podcast would become Bachelor Recap and your personal experience on Housewife Recap. Oh my God. This would get so wild.
Oh my God. I'd have to get a hair and makeup team because that's what every single person does. And I've been needing that excuse in my life.
You know what would be so funny is that you'd have the hair and makeup team come here every time before the podcast. You'd look so glam. Disgusting.
You always look great.
Oh, thank you so much. But it would be super, super funny that then I wouldn't have glam and then you'd have full glam. And everyone would just be like, I'm still here in Los Angeles.
Well,
okay. Well, before we wrap,
I'm serious though, guys.
No,
comment
please.
on Bronwyn's post and DM her and tell her that like she should get to know me and that I should be and bring me onto Real Housewives.
Yes, 1000%. Please. This could be
game huge.
changing for the Broad Squad too. We would get in so.
And this has worked, by the way, guys. Before, like Colton messaged me and on his season and was like, "Wow, your like chatty broads are really adamant." Because so many people messaged him.
It's happened with numerous Bachelor folk who are like, wow, who will message us because all the Broad Squad messaged, and they really have wanted to come on the show, but unfortunately, due to producers, hasn't been able to happen. But this could happen because guess what? We don't have any weird contracts, or there's no contracts with Bravo. We don't have any history with them, right? It's all good. Everything's clear. We could get anyone on the show on that side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. Well, to wrap this baby up, I say we do 2 fuck, marry, kills.
Let's do it. Also, did you notice that people were doing collab block? What was the other one?
We got one of them. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I never saw it until I saw this.
I love this. It's collab, DM, or block.
I love that.
Kris Jenner, Chris Harrison, or Simon Cowell.
Block Simon Cowell. He can't do it. No. Yeah, block Simon Cowell. He's irrelevant for me.
Uh-huh.
Collab, obviously, Kris Jenner. Hello. DM Chris Harrison.
All right.
It's easy for me.
Yep. I feel like that's very, very much, I feel very much on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill.
Wait, is DM like try to get with them though?
Oh.
Because then maybe Simon Cowell.
Yeah, because Simon
Cowell's
kinda hot.
He is kind of hot. I kind of agree with that.
I remember being young and watching American Idol and being like, oh God, because his nipples are always hard too in those tight shirts. Don't think I didn't notice.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little more interested in him before Chris Harrison.
Yeah, definitely. So we block Chris.
Yeah.
He's probably already blocked all of us anyways.
Yeah,
so fuck, marry, kill. You're going to like this one.
Okay.
Steve Buscemi, Danny DeVito, Nick Cage.
I'm obsessed with all 3 of them. What the fuck?
Is this person in your brain?
I also feel like this is what Trish Paytas would say. She would be obsessed with probably all 3 of them also.
Probably 100%.
Okay. Steve Buscemi. Is it Buscemi or Buscemi? People say Buscemi, but I don't feel like that's right.
I think it's Buscemi, right?
Me too.
Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. Paschetti. Okay. Him, Nick Cage. Who's the other one?
Danny DeVito.
I'm marrying Danny DeVito.
I knew it.
I'm marrying him for sure.
I knew you'd be marrying Danny DeVito.
I feel like I'm fucking Steve Buscemi and killing Nick Cage. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I really, really have a personal vendetta with Nick Cage.
Why is that?
No idea.
I mean, I understand. I feel like you're not the only person.
I've always had it. I cannot stand him.
National Treasure, though?
Hate watch it. Hate watching Nick Cage.
I love National Treasure.
I also love Danny DeVito. And I think I love Danny DeVito more than I love Steve Buscemi.
So you would marry him?
Probably, but actually, no, maybe I'd probably fuck Danny DeVito.
And you'd marry Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Marry Steve Buscemi because I think knowing that I fucked Danny DeVito, I would never, I would love to watch the old Batman movies and being like the Penguin. Oh, God. I'd like to be able to say that about myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, I love him. He's so great.
He's so great.
And I love how short he is.
Me too.
Okay. Any other one good one? Do another one.
We'll do.
Another.
Okay. Oh God, this is a rough one. People love to throw this one out there.
Why do
Bennett,
people do this?
Luke P, Chris Randone.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm marrying Luke P.
I know you'll marry Luke P.
Like, he's, to me, and I know this is controversial, seems like the least scary out of all three of them to me. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay, so you marry him.
I can work on him. I can change him.
Okay, I believe that about you.
I can do that.
Yeah.
The other two, they're too far gone. And I don't have interest.
Okay. I would.
Wait, but who am I fucking?
Oh, I thought you had no interest in even fucking or killing
I have
either of
to.
them.
I
Okay.
have to.
Okay,
It's
you
life or
have
death.
to. Okay. Bennett, Chris Randone.
Oh my God. Oh, it hurts my body. I don't know. I feel like Chris Randone. But I think it's just because Bennett's fresh in my mind right now.
Chris
and I'm
Randone,
scared
you
of
would
him.
fuck. You heard it here.
I don't know. I'm really scared of Bennett, though.
Yeah, I understand that. I truly do.
What about you?
After the final appearance in the last episode,
I'm so scared of
if
him.
I have bags under my eyes, it's because I still haven't slept in this past week. Okay, I fuck Luke P.
Okay.
Because he's muscular. I feel like he could bench press me while we're having sex.
He's like the hottest out of all three of them, sort of objectively speaking, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I
think
guess.
people think,
Maybe Bennett. I don't know.
Okay, I marry Bennett because Bennett...
Money.
For the money, purely. I will be with him for long enough to divorce him and then take some sort of cash situation.
I feel like he's also not really as smart as he comes off I mean, I believe that was on point about his emotional intelligence thing. So I feel like you would trick him very easily.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I could trick.
Like,
I would
just
be a little
play
trickster.
games.
Yeah, I could trick him. Try to
like,
get his money.
darling Bennett, aren't you so smart?
Bennett, and always with the
I'm
furs.
just a stupid woman compared to you.
Tell me more about which stocks you invested in recently, and I'd be sliding money in.
Your
different
self-awareness is just
accounts.
mind-boggling. Truly, yeah. Moving money.
I'd use him. I mean, he's in wealth management, so he'd know where to put my cash, and I'd be moving money around places, and then I'd leave him, and I'd be like, "Well, my stocks have just exploded since being with my
and it's
ex-husband."
easy. It's like, honey, I've planned a trip with you and the CEO of Walgreens to go on a little golfing excursion in Bora Bora for 2 weeks. Have fun.
And then
XOXO.
And then, because I actually don't love him, I'm like I turn, even though I really know that he's having sex with all these other people, I act like I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh no, go on another trip, darling. And he's like, my wife's the best.
Yes.
And then I end the relationship.
No. Even better. Bitch, get this.
What?
You hire Evan as some sort of groundskeeper.
Ooh.
That then you have this torrid ongoing affair with.
Yes. I hired Brendan to come fix the roof.
Not Brendan, your husband, Evan.
Brendan.
And that's that.
I love that. I love that for my future. And then I off Chris.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Is this my favorite episode ever? It's so
I think
good.
maybe this was just, we talked about everything we want to talk about.
I know.
Also, speaking of it being your favorite episode ever, Broads, for the remainder of the month of December, we will only have Bachelor episodes. This is our final for the next couple weeks non-Bachelor episode because we got 2 Bachelor episodes coming out next week. And then the following week, which is the week of Christmas, which will have 2 Bachelor. And then that third week, which is the week, just so you all know.
We're gonna have to release calendars for everyone.
We'll put
legit.
a calendar out. We'll put a calendar out so everyone knows when the actual episodes are airing too. But then we will have the final week of December going into the new year. We're going to be taking our first break. Becca and I are going to have a week off with no episodes.
But the funny thing is that I won't even be, because Gray and I are now trying to turn out.
Is that when you're going to do? Oh, geez, you're never going to have a break.
I don't care. I live to work and work to live, baby. No, I'm so excited though, because I can't fucking wait. We're actually starting to record it now. We record it Wednesday. Our first.
Wait, have you watched the episode?
No, and I can't wait. Gray is going to be watching my season of The Bachelor, which he's never done. He's never watched any of it. None of it. Doesn't know the drama, doesn't know the characters except for the people that he's met in real life, obviously, like Kendall and Cien. And I
what I would give to have the actual video footage of him watching
No. I'm going to have a camera on him the whole time.
Okay, thank God.
I'm going to have a camera on him for reactions. I'll be posting on all over Instagram. Like,
Please.
I can't wait.
This is going to be crazy.
It's going to be so bad. Like, Gray is so unhinged sometimes.
I think it's going to be so bad.
Like, oh my God, when he gets on something like what you were talking about earlier, it's just going to be interesting. That's all.
I'm so excited.
So, anyway.
Well, you'll be working that week. I will be taking off. But then we have to start Matt James this season. But anyways, we'll release a calendar, but it's going to be the first week that we won't. This is the last week in December that we won't release.
But we're having doubles all week, baby. Batch.
Having doubles. And
all month.
I'm sure a lot of you all will be catching up on some of those Bachelor episodes because it's the week of Christmas. And who does this except us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anywho, with that being said, chat soon.
Chat soon, bro.
Have a wonderful weekend. Mwah.
Mwah.